excited to, be able to kind of just dive into this with you, Ryan, because I know you are crushing it on telesales, and that shouldn't be under noticed. And also, I just know you can add so much value. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. But before we do that, Ryan, just tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of, who you are, what you were doing maybe before Family First Life, and what kind of brought you into Family First Life.
Before I was doing video production. I actually went to school for I wanted to make movies. I was like, I like watching movies, maybe I'll make them, right? But the money's not very good in that. I was making some commercials and job by job, and I didn't know how to sell myself. I was actually the worst salesman on the planet. I was so nervous to call people on the phone. And so originally I was like, hey, I need to do the thing I fear, and the death of fear is certain. So I tried to hire a couple sales guys. They were bad. I was like, let me just do this insurance thing. And he was making like $60K a year. And I was like, I'll just do this for like 6 months, give him my fear, and then go back into a video production. At least I could sell like bigger jobs. And then remember when I, closed, I think the first week I closed one deal and made $2,000. And I was like, wait, that's pretty crazy. Like 1 hour, like, okay, maybe I can go help some people. So then did that for a while. And that's a 50% commission. No scripts, no training like this, right? No YouTube channels, right? No mentors to call for risk assessments. Just had to go out there and wing it and learn it, and know that if someone else could do it, I could do it too, right? And learn through trial and error. So we all are our best teachers, but we're all our best excuse makers as well. And a lot of you people on here that are not making it work are making excuses. Excuses. If I could do it at 50%, you're getting double here at FFL. There is no reason making excuses, right? If I can do it, you can do it. So that's how I got started.
Love it. Amen. And coming in at 50%, and really you just kind of saw like the value and impact you could add to other people, but also the income potential. It was attractive, and you were like, hey, this might actually be like my gig. This might be what I'm here to do, right? Here to serve. So I love that, Ryan. And just to kind of jump right into things, obviously you're writing at a really high level in telesales, and talk to us a little bit about your lead flow. And even if you want to particularly take your lead flow out of it, or what it would look like if you're setting up a new agent to go into a telesales process.
Well, the one thing is, everyone's always like, what lead should I buy? What lead should I buy? Oh, lead stuff. And there must be a magic lead, or I got the wrong leads, right? So all leads work. It's not about what leads you buy. It's how much you invest. Okay. So the way that I've calculated out over 13 years of doing this, it's about $100 to give a presentation. That means getting through the whole thing, where you give an option of, do you want to protect your family with 200,000 or 100,000, right? So $100. So if you're spending $500 and you're buying $5 leads, you're still only going to get 5 presentations. That means if you close 1, you double your money. 2, you 4x your money. 3, you 6x your money. Okay. So $1,000, you get 10 probably solid presentations with telesales. Now, if you're doing face-to-face, me personally, my ROI was better. But, if I'm spending, say $20,000 a month, that might sound crazy, but $20,000 a month, just doing some simple math, to make 50,000 net profit, to stay at home in my pajamas, right? Versus spending 10,000 to make 40,000, which is only $30,000 profit. I'm about, what's my net profit, right? And what's my convenience factor? Okay. So next week, I'm actually going to go, I got an Airbnb down in the country, Colombia, where it's going to overlook the beach, 3 bedrooms, $1,000. I'm just going to go work remote down there, because we can do it from anywhere in the world. And that's the reason why I wanted to switch to telesales, which Grady Polson said, hey, don't do it. It's not possible. And at first I was terrible at it, just as much as I was terrible at face-to-face. It takes time to get good at telesales. It's exactly the same thing, but through repetition, through taking action, you become more comfortable in your own skin. Your tonality adjusts and changes, and you gain trust on the phone. And then once I cracked that code, we got some videos out there, and now we got all kinds of telesales people, probably some that are even better than me.
Absolutely. Well, you've been crushing it. I think that's huge, right? You always, like you said, the lead, the magic lead, the secret lead, and you're like, it's not about the lead, it's about your investment. And I think that's huge, because Ryan, you probably also, or can relate, I know, like, for example, when my lead spend went up, that's when I hit Hall of Fame. But it was because my activity went up too. And then by default, I was writing more business. So again, ROI was a lot higher, right? And that's attractive. And when you can make it that simplistic, like you just did, Ryan, in terms of the telesales side, $1,000 is 10 presentations. How many presentations do you have to do every week, right? That's going to be the next question you have to ask yourself. So it's not necessarily about the magic lead. I don't think that there is one, right, Ryan? Like,
No,
I don't
there's
know.
not. No, and you know what the magic lead is? It's the one that you think is the best lead, right? So I'll tell you a story. Like when I was first doing face-to-face, I was working in Arizona, right? We have Maricopa County, which is the big city area. So there's a lot of competition. And we had all the outskirt areas and counties. And we always killed it on the outskirts. We're like, oh, there's no competition. Maybe we're driving, listen to podcasts. I don't know, but no one could kill it in the valley. We'd only do like 2K. We're like, it's not possible. You can't do more. This new guy, Phil, came in. We're like, oh, let's tell him these are the good leads. So he doesn't take like the outskirts. And then we just told him they were good. And so he thought they were good. He started doing 6K, 10K, 15K. And we're like, what the heck? How is this possible? Then because he proved it was possible, everyone else started doing it. Now, what's the same thing with telesales? When the pandemic hit, so everyone said it can't be done, right? I started doing telesales. I was terrible at it. Grady actually told me, dude, just go back to face-to-face. It's not possible. But as soon as I helped 60 families out in a month, everyone knew it was possible and they started doing it too. So you guys all have that gift right now. Every single person that's watching this right now on YouTube or at this Zoom meeting, there's people all around you that are proving that's possible. And the only thing that's stopping you is you and the belief that you can do it. And the belief that you think in a lead is good becomes good. So that's why you have so many people who are like, man, I don't know, man, those 1 months, they're the best ones. That's the ones. All the rest of them are terrible. Well, because they said that, that's why the 1 month's the best, right? Oh, it's the mortgage protection mailers. You can't do anything else without those. Those are the best. Well, because you said it, now that it's the best. So this is a mindset game. Whatever you believe becomes your reality.
Absolutely. And I think that that's huge because I can think of so many examples similar to what you just said, right? Like not only did he go out and break the record, so to say, in that area, that you guys had kind of instilled, but you guys were like, hey, these leads aren't that great, but to him, they were the best leads. So I think that that really just shows perspective. Everything in this business is mindset. If your mindset can stay smooth, you're going to stay smooth. Your mindset starts going like this, you're going to feel like that. And you don't want to feel like that. We all been there. So keep a structured mindset, lead flow. Essentially, it always goes back to what did you invest? So I love that, Ryan. And then talk to us a little bit. And you kind of talked to us a little bit about this, but you went from in-home, to telesales. You talked about your learning curve. What would you say was, your bigger learning curves or some of your bigger learning curves?
Was just getting comfortable. It's the same learning curve of anything, right? Is getting your confidence up and stop trying to be needy and convince people they need something and believe in the product and just talk about the product and relax. And that just came with doing it over and over again. I think at first I was trying too hard to make sales, pushing people too much into it. And then as soon as I just relax through repetition, actually, you kind of get to a point where you're just kind of pissed off because you're not selling anything. So you just stop caring and you're like, I don't even care. I'm just going to get you the information. You can do what you want with it. But that's exactly where you need to be because now you're not needy. You're just doing your job, right? So your job is counting your dials that you're putting in per day. If you don't have a dial goal per day, you're losing. You're losing. You have to have a dial goal, right? And that's every single day. You don't quit till you get that amount of dials. It's not that many sales. It's not that many yeses. It's not reaching an AP goal. It's the amount of action you take per day because the action is what we can control, right? And so there is some people that are producing higher than me and they're just taking more action than me. They're just working more hours and dialing more than me. They're investing more than me, right? I'll tell you, once you get to the point where you start spending, $3,000 on leads a week, you pretty much have to go to work. You're like, I need to make my money back. Like that's a lot of money. And I think it's kind of silly that you have some new agents out there that they'll go spend $500, right? $500 on some leads. Maybe it's, the $5 leads and you got, what is that? Like 90 leads or something, right? 100 leads. Yeah. 100 leads, right? 100 leads. So, and then they didn't practice your script at all, right? They're like, oh, I'm just going to read it for an hour, read like a robot. Like, you're that lazy. Like, if it was me and I was broke and I was spending $500, that's a lot of money. I'd be reading my script out loud, practicing probably for like 60 hours. Like, I'd be walking around in my kitchen, practicing at the gym. Like, I'd be like, I'm going to get my money back. Like, no way am I going to be lazy about this, right? So we have to be realistic. Like, it's not that hard. Everything you have in front of you is right there. You got your script, practice it, right? You got the phone, press send. That's it. That's the business.
Absolutely. And, I love how you talked about, Ryan, it's an activity goal, right? Like, we win in this business by taking action. Like, never have I ever not taken action and had a win in this business. It doesn't work that way, right? So you talked about an activity goal, counting your dials per day, which I also think is extremely important. But with that being said, what does that look like for you? And what does your schedule kind of look like?
So for me, I mean, I've gotten to a point to where I have a dialer. Okay. Now, if you're brand new, do not hire a dialer. Okay. I also hired a friend and I was paying her a hourly for 40 hours a week. So it was like a real job, like no commission. I also had to work with her probably like, 10 times longer than a normal agent because she's not being paid a commission. Okay. So it took me a long time to get her really good. But that allows me to work on, helping my team out more and be more energy efficient. But if you're brand new, you definitely want to get dialer because I'm not going to train your dialer. You have to train your dialer. And if you're not good at dialing, you're not going to be able to train your dialer because it's going to take you like 40 hours to do. But basically, with the schedule that we have set is from 11 to 6:30. Every 30 minutes, we can book an appointment. And so she schedules appointments for me. We don't book past 24 hours because that's going to cause some no-shows. But I did have a guest on my podcast last week, Riyadh, and he actually said that I thought you can only set appointments with mailers. And he's setting appointments just like face-to-face and a very high producer. We're talking like 60 families a month. And he's buying the CRM leads and just dialing all day Monday and then booking for Tuesday, Wednesday. And he's having about 50% no-shows. He's booking them every hour. So why don't you do every 30 minutes? Because if you do it every 30 minutes, you can give them a 30-minute window. And sometimes like I'm an hour and a half late to my appointment, sometimes 2 hours. But they're still fine. It's like, look, I'm helping so many families today. I'm so sorry. I'm so far behind. It's just everyone's wanting protection today. That's the truth. And it sounds great, right? Because you always want to be busy anyways and not be that needy person that's like, hey, I was just waiting around all day for you. I only had one appointment. You want to act like you got tons of clients anyways, right? So that's kind of how I set up my schedule. And then I do that on Mondays as a half day. Because to be honest with you, I just like to sleep in on Monday, so it's a rough weekend. So I do Monday afternoons. And then Tuesdays, I do 11 to 7. And then Wednesdays, 11 to 7. Thursdays, my agency day. So I'm just doing podcasts and stuff like that. And then Fridays. Every once in a while on Saturdays, if I need to make up for something, I'll work on some Saturdays, which is a great day to work because everyone's home. So Saturdays are a really good day. But I think the key that I want to bring up a good point is you guys have to have a schedule. So before, and this happened to me, it's kind of funny when I was doing face-to-face appointments, and I know there's some face-to-face people there. Whenever I was catering to the client and their schedule, and I was kind of all over the place. And it's like, oh, we can only do, this time at 8:00, or it has to be at 8:00 in the morning. Right. And I get there and I'm like, I'm driving, I would be out of town. So I'm getting up at like 5 in the morning to get there by 8:00. And I'm like, what are you guys doing for the rest of the day? And they're like, oh, nothing. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I just freaking got like 6 hours of sleep. And I just drove by like 2 hours to get here and you don't have nothing to do. So I was like, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I'm only working when I want to work. And if the clients can't meet my schedule, then I'm throwing the lead away. Like, I am just done. And as soon as I did that, my mental state was so much better because I had my schedule. I like to get up in the gym, go to the gym in the morning, do some meditation, watch some good content on YouTube, read a good book, get my mental clarity correct for the day. And my sales doubled. I was working less time and my sales doubled. Same thing happened with Telesales. Okay. And I started that. I was like working Saturdays and Sundays and booking appointments whenever they wanted. As soon as I just had my set time, I'm like, if they didn't fit in that, And now I'm actually telling them like, hey, I don't have anything available. This is exactly when you have to do it. Now I'm forcing them into my schedule. And yeah, I did miss a couple here and there, but my mental state was so much better because now I didn't have to feel guilty, right? I didn't have to feel guilty like I felt like, man, I'm such a loser because I didn't show up to work at 8 o'clock and I slept in, right? Like I got the time. It's okay. This is my schedule. I'm allowed to start when I want to start, right? Now, I don't think that most people should be late hours. I think a lot of people should start earlier. But for me, that worked, right? But I had the schedule to stick to it, week to week, and that helped out a lot.
You brought up a lot of great points there. I mean, first and foremost, I'm huge on schedule. No matter if you're in home, you're hybrid, you're telesales, you need a schedule and it has to be consistent each and every week, or you're going to make your life that much harder, right? And one thing you also brought up too, Ryan, that was interesting was the script. Sometimes I feel like the phone script can be overlooked. And in my personal opinion, the phone script should be the number one thing that is not overlooked. Because if we don't talk to the person on the phone, book the appointment in some way, shape, or form, or have that, interact, to be able to present, it doesn't matter how great you are in the home or how great you are at telesales if you can't intro the call, right? Like it just simply doesn't matter. So just like you were saying, Ryan, you're like, I would be walking around my kitchen, saying in the shower, saying in the gym, whatever I had to do to make sure I had that phone script down. And if somebody woke you up right now, Ryan, at 3 a.m. and said, I need you to give me the intro, or I'm, you're gone right now. Like, you're good because you're injured. You're like, here it is. Can I go back to sleep? Right. So it's like, it needs to be like clockwork like that. If you don't know your phone script, right there, pause, take a minute, take Ryan's advice, and you want to say that thing out loud until you know it like your date of birth, right? Like you want it to just come extremely naturally because tonality is huge. People hang up on you probably, I'm sure, a lot more on telesales, tonality wise, than they're going to. No one's going to hang up on you in the home, but they just kind of look at you funny, right? So make sure that you have your phone script down. Repetition is going to be key on that. A lot of agents worry about what am I going to say when I get on the phone? What product am I going to use? Book your appointments first. You're going to be able to do it. And from there, you're going to build more belief in yourself, realizing, wow, I just did that. And all you did was rehearse the script. And like Ryan said, when I came into this industry, I was not by any stretch of the imagination financially well off. So the investment that went in, I had to take that extremely seriously. Now, if you're out there and you're like, well, I have an investment too, and I've just been sitting on my leads for 2 weeks, pick the phone up. I love you guys, but that's not going to help anybody. And all in all, like Ryan was saying, if I invested $500 and I need that $500, all I have to do is call the leads to get it back. All I have to do is do the activity to get it back, right? So how many dials are you making, right? What are you doing? What does that actually look like? So I love that. And just kind of flow right off that, Ryan, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I want to bring a good point, guys. It's a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper that you read. Okay. I made more than some doctors do right out of college in 1 month. That's pretty ridiculous. And you guys can't, I would say 40 hours. Like I would read my script for 40 hours. Like I would be like practicing, pulling away, like becoming like, imagine I'm going on stage and now I'm going to make $200,000 a year. And they're like, all you have to do is get really good at presenting the script and you're going in front of a whole bunch of people and you just have to say it really good, like kind of like a stand-up comedy show, right? And you're like, I don't know, that's too hard. You mean I have to be really good about reading one page and you saying that's going to take me 40 hours to get good at it? I can only put an hour into this. That's all I'm going to do. I don't want to make 200,000. Guys, quit right now and let me go work at Taco Bell. Like that's too hard for you. Like, look at, that's a reading, memorizing the script. We had to do that like to get like just an A, like in high school. Like remember like poems or something. And we like would sit at home and do homework all night just to get an A. But then like for some reason people here like, man, I'm spending $500 of my own money and I have to memorize this. You say I have to spend 40 hours memorizing a piece of paper? This is so difficult. Like, come on, get out of your head. It's ridiculous, guys. You get good at that and you're just sounding. Now, would you trust somebody? It sounds like they're reading a script. Would you give them your bank account information? If I was reading to you right now, here's an example, right? I was like, hi, Marissa, this is Ryan on the medical field owner. It's been assigned to you to get you that final expense information you requested. A while back, you fill out a form online, talked about protecting your family with tax free. Yeah. Or you're going to read it like you practice it, right? Hey, Marissa, this is Ryan. Hey, I'm actually the field underwriter. It's been assigned to you to get you that information that you requested. Okay. It's about that final expense stuff, protect your family in case of a death or illness. I got to verify a couple quick things here. Which one are you going to pay attention to? I practice it enough that I'm not reading it. I know it, right? I'm talking with tonality shifts. I'm talking with making it clear, not boring. People are paying attention. The first one, the guy's like, wait, what'd you say? The second one, you're paying attention, right?
Ready to go. Exactly. And it's true. It's tonality, and you're not going to have the right tonality if you don't know it. So memorize your script, guys. Thank you for driving that home, Ryan. That was great. And if you don't mind, you kind of just hit on it a little bit, but will you give us kind of just a flat, like, role play intro of what that sounds like when you go outbound to make that appointment call?
So, I mean, I'm going right into it when I have my appointment set, but the opening was pretty much just that. It's why are you calling? Guys, why are you calling? And so the quickest thing we have to realize is that people think we're telemarketers. We just call them 9 times in a row, right? So they're like, I want to hang up. I want to hang up. I want to hang up. So I think just being, don't use big words because that's telemarketing, right? Simple to the point, less is more, dumb it down and be direct, right? I'm calling you back because you asked me to call you. That's the most direct, right? Right in their face line. I'm calling you back because you asked me to call you. My name's Ryan. This is about the final expense information that you requested online. Fill out a mailer, right? We overthink it. Like, it's so simple. So dumb it down, right? I'm calling you back because you asked me to call you, Sarah. This is about the life insurance ad that you clicked on and filled out that talks about protecting your family some life insurance. Okay. I got to verify some information real quick. Right. That's it. Just why are you calling? Right. I'm calling you back because you asked me to call you.
Right.
Okay. Then, hey, so my job today, I'm a medical field underwriter. It's kind of like a national broker. So what it allows me to do is shop every A-rated company nationwide. Okay. I'm going to look at companies you've heard of: Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, Aetna. Okay. The list goes on. We got like 63 of them. Now, do we really have 63? No. But can we get appointed with 63? Yes. Do we usually write the top 10? Of course. Is it technically a lie? Not really, because we are brokers and can get appointed with 63 if we wanted to, right? Make sense?
Amen.
And it is true. We do shop. The ones that we write, guys, are the best ones. That's what we're writing. They are the best ones. They come with the best living benefits. They're priced the best. Otherwise, we wouldn't write them because we'd be out of business. That means like all of my policies be canceled right now. Okay. So they are the best ones. Does that make sense? Making sense? Okay. Who are you trying to protect? Who are you trying to protect right now today, Marissa?
My sister.
Your sister. Okay. Now, if you died yesterday, I know this is kind of a tough question. Yesterday, you had a car crash, you died. Heart attack, you died. You're not here today. How's that going to affect your sister?
I mean, I just don't want her to have to pay for the funeral.
You just want to pay for the funeral. Okay. So she would be out of pocket for that funeral expense, right?
Right.
Okay. So now you're not here again today. Okay. You're not here. You died yesterday. You're a ghost. You came back. What's your plan right now?
I mean, she would have to, talk with family and friends and try to, get the money together, and it might take some time. So I don't really know what that would look like, but it wouldn't look good.
Okay. So your plan right now is for her to go beg for money, correct?
That you said it, man. Yeah. Essentially, there is no plan.
Interesting. So curiosity, right? We're not trying to sell, finding new curiosity. Interesting. So would you rather have her do like a GoFundMe, do car washes, or do you think you would rather, have a plan in place to make sure she doesn't have to do that on the worst day of her life when her sister dies? Which one did you want to do?
Yeah, no, I wanted to make sure that, she has the coverage there on the worst day of her life.
Okay. So besides budget, because we can pick the budget, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to protect your sister with a plan?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's sold. It's sold in the beginning, guys. I didn't give you options. It's already sold. All right. So now we're going to get rid of the think about it. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So Marissa, I know you got excited, you want to protect your sister, but this is not something you can buy. Okay. You have to be approved for it. So if you do see a need for it, like we obviously have a need, it's either, car washes or protecting the person you love most. But if you do see a need for it, then my job today is to help you get approved. Okay. So put in a request for approval. They'll give us an answer in about 3 to 7 days. And then if approved, you'll have 30 days to adjust your policy up or down. Does that make sense?
It is.
Okay, perfect. Now, if you don't want a policy, Marissa, just let me know. We'll close your case. I don't do second appointments because we're going to shop every carrier for you nationwide, and we won't even know if you can get it until we apply. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Okay. Now, for the approval process, and we don't need this now, but just give me a heads up, the insurance company will ask for 3 things. They're going to ask for a driver's license for background check. Okay. They're going to ask for a social security to check your prescriptions, and they're going to ask for a routing account number to pay for your policy so your sister's protected. Okay, that's if you get approved. Now, we don't take debit cards because they're not secure, but you can't buy things with routing account numbers. Okay, you can't buy anything with those. So that's why they take those. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay, you have those 3 things on you.
I do, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's get into some medical information and see what's available. Okay.
Okay.
Now, Marissa, they are going to double check everything. So can you be honest with me about your medical?
Yes.
Okay, because I just want to put you in plans that most likely will get approved. And if you do lie to me, then they're going to catch it and it's going to go on your record for lying. Okay, so let's just be honest with each other so we get you in the right plans. Okay.
Okay.
That's it. That's it.
Oh,
But you know why a lot of you guys aren't selling? Because you're lazy and you don't practice, right? And you're like, oh, I need someone to do role play with me. I don't have anybody to do role play. You should practice by yourself. Record yourself, judge yourself. You're your best teacher, right?
Amen.
Stop making excuses. Go get it done.
Amen. And Ryan, I love how like you asked that question, like, and from there you were like, it's sold. Like even like this role, like the role play, like it was sold. Like I was like, like I have my social security number, I'm gonna grab my driver's license, routing an account number. Like, because even just in those small sentences of building essentially curiosity by asking questions, right? Like, so which one of these, like, do you want it to play out for your sister? If you died last night, which one of it would and how would it play out? That is huge. That right there is like, that was awesome, Ryan. So just thank you. Because you're also talking about scripts, right? Like we all know people lie about their health, not everybody, but they do. We don't want to run 13 applications, right? You're talking about their scripts. You're avoiding to think about it. You're telling them right now, hey, I'm here to submit an application. I don't do second appointments. I love how you said that. Like, so I'm going to need these 3 things, like, any issue with those. Okay, great. And I love how you said the routing and account number versus like bank information. And you expressed, because, you can't buy something with the routing and account number.
What do you buy with it? It's ridiculous. And if someone goes, well, why did you give me my bank account? What do you buy with it? Utilities? Your utilities have to match the person that's paying for the address. I can't even do that. It's on the bottom of your checks. You've been handing it out for 60 years. Banks still think the checks are secure. Has your name, your address, your account number. No one can do anything with it. Why are you tripping out?
Right. Exactly. You overcame everything right there, though. And that's
I would tell people that, like, look, let's be honest. You just don't want it because you can't buy anything with routing account numbers. You're just making up excuses. So what's the real issue? Because you can't do anything with a routing account number. It's dumb. It's like the same as the account number on like a bill for like your utilities. Like the account number's at the top of, like, what do you do with the account number? Does anyone know? Has anyone heard of anyone taking money out of someone's account with an account number? I've never heard of that before. It's not possible. That's why. There you go. Right?
And when the mindset's like that, no one's going to tell you otherwise. Like, you know what I mean, Ryan? Like, no one's telling you otherwise about the bank. You're like, this is how it goes. This is what it is, right? So
that's what happens. Yeah, because agents, it's either 2 people win the battle. The client wins the battle and they go, I don't want to give my round account number. You're like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I wouldn't want to do that either. I didn't think logically about it though, and you can't do anything with it. So you gotta like, once you're like, you're gonna call people out like, you're being silly, first of all. So let's get back to the real reasons why you don't want to get this, okay?
And then they probably respect you a lot more for that too, for being honest, straightforward, forthright with them the whole entire conversation. So love that. And when you kind of, we all have days where maybe we have to get our mind right, we're a little bit off track. Like, what helps you keep your mind right on a day-to-day basis?
I'll be honest, I had bad days too, but the real exciting part about if you can do the hard work up front, which is, go to work, right? A lot of us just don't work. Okay. If you go to work and get good at it, I swear you can have the worst day ever. And you just can just read your script and you just close deals. Like, it's almost sometimes like once you get good at it. So that's the cool part. So number one, you can't really have bad days when you get really good at it, because almost like you're so good and confident with it, and you're acting like, I don't even care if you want to get this or not. I don't even want to be here right now. But they almost like want to buy it more from you, because I think a lot of times you guys are so nervous because you're wanting to close so bad that they can tell, right? And so it has to be just a job, and you got to act busy, and you're just getting through it. And you're just like, look, do you want to get this or not? But I would say number one is you got to start your day off with something positive, because this is a mindset job. So working out, good one. Even if you're going on a walk, right? On that walk, listen to some sort of mind enhancement stuff, right? Like an audio book, listen to my YouTube channel, Marissa's YouTube channel, some of the experts out there, right? Listening to some positive stuff to get you in the right mindset before you start working. So that's, I think, the key is doing some meditation, maybe eat a smoothie. If you're being lazy, pick something that you can be proud of, right? So how we become happy and confident is doing things that we know our future self should do. So maybe it's something basic, like you're supposed to drink a glass of water in the morning, but you haven't been doing it. That takes probably 3 seconds, just pound that glass of water. So if you just do that one thing, you're like, I'm gonna do that one thing, I'm gonna drink a glass of water. Guess what? Confidence levels are up, proudness is up, you're gonna be better on the phones.
Amen. Love that. Yep. If your confidence is there, everything else is going to follow it. And then just to kind of wrap up the call, Ryan, are you going to be attending convention? If so, why? And what are your goals to wrap up 2022?
Well, I just got to go there so I can, be in all the pictures of all the people taking. If you've been to the convention last year, everyone just like, I want to get a picture. I want to get a picture. That part's funny, but no, the convention definitely got to go, guys. Number one, it's free, right? It's free with all the top producers there to teach you, to help you win. And, you have two options. Okay. You can spend $100,000 to $1 million to launch your own company. Okay. You can spend $100,000 to go to college in 4 years of your life. Or you can go to a baseball stadium in Miami, like a professional baseball stadium, where they spend $10 million on education for free and get out and make a ton of money. Which one do you think sounds better out of the three options? I think in conference, right? And it's not just about the trainers, right? It's not about the people on stage, which is great, but it's about getting around that many people that are all in this business to share ideas and tips and talking to people, in and out of the conference. I'd say that's probably, to me, I think that's more important than actually the speakers. And maybe we're not supposed to say that, but I think it's just better being around the culture. It's just cool to see, right? And going and talking to people.
Absolutely. And that face-to-face interaction, like you said, being able to go up to you and be like, hey, Ryan, great to see you, give me one telesales tip. But going up to people with intentional things that you want to learn, for me, that's always more invigorating, and just being able to see everybody in person. Don't get me wrong, speakers are absolutely amazing. That's just like a cherry on top. But for me, and Ryan, maybe you're a little bit different. Every single convention I went to, when I left, I've changed something in my business and it worked for a positive manner.
100% too. And, this business is like, you never can get too good. And I've been doing this for 13 years. Even if you know everything in the world and you just catch like a 5-minute clip out of like a 3-day event, that 5-minute nugget's going to make you better, and it was all worth it. And so even most of the time, it's going to be reminders of things that you stop doing, right? And so we constantly have to be watering our tree, and we're the tree or the flower. And if we stop getting knowledge, the tree withers and dies. So the most important thing in this business is to always be reminding yourself, that's why it helps us. Like when we're doing these podcasts with each other, we're constantly getting reminders and learning as we're teaching too, right? So that's why we probably produce really good, right? So, you got to constantly drip on the tree, and the best place to do that is going to be at the convention for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to see you there. I know everyone on this call is going to be there. And what are your goals to end the year, Ryan?
Goals to end the year. I mean, I'll probably have a jacket. I don't know, just make a lot of money. I'd like to get my team producing a lot more, so, but I don't know. I just go to work, guys. I got my schedule. I stick to it. And if you stick to your schedule, just money falls in your lap. I'm telling you, it's schedule. Write out a schedule. And if you can't stick to your 10-hour day, shorten it to 5, but do something you can commit to, and make sure you stick to that every single day, and the money will follow. I'm telling you.
Love it. Thank you so much for being on with us today, Ryan. This was an amazing
Thank
call.
you.
You added a ton of value. I appreciate
Awesome.
you.
We'll catch
See
you
you
on
at
YouTube.
convention.
No, see you at convention too.